Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Balls Out Sports Podcast. I'm Remy. This is Jerry. And man, did we see a crazy game last night. I'm obviously talking about Super Bowl 58. We're recording this on Monday, so it's fresh in our memories. Just happened last night. I'd like to congratulate the Kansa City Chiefs for winning, what is this, their fifth Super Bowl, I think, in franchise.
Yeah, second in a row.
Second in a row, third in the past 4 years. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. This is the start of a dynasty. As Mahomes put it, they're gonna try and keep going, keep getting more championships, whether it's next year or, in the near future. But what do you think this? What do you think this means? Just the Chiefs winning.
It means, they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but what do you in the big picture of the history of the NFL? Because there's not many teams that have gone back to back.
Yeah, people was calling him like the Michael Jordan of the NFL. What do you think about that?
The Michael Jordan of the NFL.
I don't think so. That's kind of too far, bro.
Well, it depends on what you mean by the Michael Jordan of the NFL. Are they talking about how, like, the dominance in the playoff?
That
or
and the
what?
back-to-backs. And they thinking he going to repeat. People think he's going to
Back-to-backs. Well, I mean, if he does three-peat, if they do three-peat, then that's a totally different question. But as of today, I can't compare him to Michael Jordan because the biggest thing that people say when they talk about Michael Jordan, it's the fact that he's undefeated in the finals. Right? He's just literally, every time he goes to the NBA Finals, he doesn't lose. Patrick Mahomes has lost in the playoffs before getting to the finals or the Super Bowl, and he has lost in the Super Bowl. People don't hold it against Michael Jordan, so I'm not going to hold it against Patrick Mahomes, the fact that he loses in the playoffs before getting to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But once you're in the promised land, and it's pretty much expected that, guaranteed that you're going to deliver, that's what Michael Jordan was once you got to the playoffs. The finals. So it's a totally different atmosphere, which is why people, I think, compare him to Tom Brady. That's the most apt description. You're not going to the Super Bowl every single year. You're not winning it every single year. You're not even winning MVP every single year. Your starting quarterback isn't. But when it comes down to it, if you ask anybody in the league who's the team to beat right now,
Chiefs.
There you go.
Yeah, there's some good teams though on the come up, and the 49ers is one of them.
Yeah, I saw that they're number one in the power rankings for next year. Vegas they have the highest odds of winning the Super Bowl. I know it's kind of weird that they are already doing this kind of stuff for next year, but hey, that's how sports betting works. If there's money to be made, they're gonna make their money. But yeah, that's already a thing that you can bet on. Who's gonna win next year's Super Bowl? So yeah. That's not a question that we have to discuss necessarily, but what's your favorite part or least favorite part? What's, something that you have to note about this game that either impressed you, disappointed you? What's the major talking point you want to bring up?
The game in general was just a good game, but the 49ers defense was good up until late when it mattered, and then Mahomes and the offense, their offense, they impressed me a lot too. Especially Mahomes, no matter how many times he does it, when he do it, you gotta appreciate it now. I hear, bro.
It is really hard to put it into words what we're seeing with Patrick Mahomes, just because. I mean, he is. If I were Cam Newton, I would say he's a game changer. Because a quarterback that is just like, all right, we're fucked if we don't get this first down. I'm gonna run for it. I'm gonna go get this first down on my legs. He did that twice in the
For more than 15.
yeah. He did that twice
OT.
in the last quarter, right?
Four for the
Slash
OT.
overtime.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, it's very impressive what Patrick Mahomes has been able to do. Once again, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. But I want to talk about some down points. Do you think this might be an overreaction, but do you think Brock Purdy is the guy for the San Francisco 49ers for the future?
I don't know. I think that's been a question all year though, and for real, because he just has weapons around him that people say that his
He's
team
got good
makes.
weapons.
His team makes him look good. I don't think he's like terrible, but I don't think he's starting QB in the Super Bowl good. Not just yet.
I mean,
And
he's definitely starting QB in the Super Bowl good. He's
still-
not winning QB in the Super Bowl good.
He's still young though. Yeah, he's still young though. He's 24. You know.
He's 24 years old? Okay.
And he's never been in this position before. So you can't.
He is 24 years old.
Yeah, bro. He's 24.
Oh, December. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, he's younger than I thought, which I guess not. It's only his second year. Okay. Yeah, it's weird because when you look at his stats, 23 for 38, that's
Well, yeah, like two.
one touchdown, no interceptions. Then obviously Juwan Jennings had that other touchdown, so that doesn't count for Brock Purdy or anything. But
255. McCaffrey ran for 80.
yeah, that's one thing. I mean, if you look at his average, that's over 3.5 yards per attempt. When we're talking about Christian McCaffrey,
Yep.
his rushing yards per attempt, over 3.5. If my math is correct, you could have only ran the ball with Christian McCaffrey and been good the whole game, because you're getting your first downs 3 times 3.5 is more than 10 yards.
Play calling lost that game.
So yeah, I mean, obviously it's the Super Bowl, so it's one of those things where no matter what happens, the opposite is what the coach should have done. I always take what people say about coaching in the Super Bowl with a grain of salt. But when you see trends, when you see patterns, it's hard to ignore that. And I mean, this head coach has lost in a Super Bowl where he had a lead now
Multiple times.
three times, twice as a head coach and once as an offensive coordinator. I'm talking about Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah. Do you think this defeat is? Well, I'm still talking about the same guy, same coach. Do you think this defeat is worse for him than that 28-3 comeback, or not necessarily? Because it's two very different scenarios.
28-3 was the Falcons.
Yes. Kyle Shanahan was the
man.
offensive coordinators against the Patriots on that mythic.
I was living in
mythic
when
comeback.
that happened. Bro,
damn, I feel bad for.
I wasn't a fan, but the whole
just the atmosphere in the city must have been just.
Oh, it was crazy because even people who don't really watch football, it's like, oh, the Falcons are in the Super Bowl. We watching that.
There's two things that will make you become a fan of the Super Bowl: having your team in it and having your city host it.
Yep.
Those are two things that no matter what, when they happen, sheesh, you're in a whole different mood.
But I feel like, I don't know. It's like pick your poison. You lost to Brady, but you also lost to Mahomes. So it's like,
I guess if you are going to lose to two quarterbacks in your whole coaching career in the Super Bowl, that's two of them. Because he wasn't around when Joe Montana was a quarterback. So that's the only other person I really would have tolerated him losing against in the Super Bowl. Maybe a Terry Bradshaw, but yeah. So what do you think this means for the future of Kansas City? Obviously they're looking to become the first team in the history of the NFL to three-peat. Never been done. Yeah, what do you think it's going to take? Do you think they can do it with a relatively same roster, or what do you think it's going to take? Because as we just mentioned, Vegas already doesn't have them winning it. So,
I mean, Mahomes said it best in the post game. They never the underdogs, so it's hard to bet against them. And I mean, just you would think by the way their season went, it wasn't a bad season. Like, what they finished 12-5.
who
The Chiefs?
the Chiefs?
I think it was 12-5.
Yeah.
12-5.
No. 11-6.
11-6.
The 49ers were 12-5. My bad.
11-6. It wasn't a pretty season for them, but people thought like, okay, even me, like they don't look like a Super Bowl team, but it don't matter. It don't matter how you look in the regular season. It's how you look in
Right.
the playoffs. So I think they could do a three-peat. I think so, and I think you can make a couple of adjustments on offense because they had a lot of drops this season, like in the wide receiver area. They could probably make some adjustments there. Maybe.
But if their wide receivers played the way they played in the Super Bowl the whole season, I mean, they didn't really drop anything. The only drop that happened was on a ball that I call that a droppable pass. You know, when it's a pass that's like tough enough that if you drop it, I don't think it goes in the stat sheet even as a drop, you know?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, I mean, if you're able to kind of have that mindset throughout the regular season and have that discipline throughout the regular season, most importantly, yeah, they can definitely get that 1 seed again like they're used to getting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it's hard. It's going to be hard to 3. I feel like there's a reason why no one's done it. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, you never know, bro.
You never do know. So if they, I could totally see them making it to the Super Bowl again, but winning it a third time would be hard. Who would you like to see face them next year if they were to be in it? Because I kind of like this 49ers rivalry that they have going on. I'm not going to lie.
Niners, maybe the Lions.
A Lions Chiefs game would be kind of crazy.
I feel like the Chiefs will probably scrape them, though.
Damn, yeah, I guess we don't really want to see a blowout in the Super Bowl because that's what's been so nice about these past 2 Super Bowls is that even though the Chiefs did win both of them, they were not close games.
Yeah.
Both 1 possession games at the end when you look at the final score. But yeah, when it comes to Patrick Mahomes, I mean, 330 passing yards, 66 rushing yards, which is the most for his team, by the way.
Yep.
Isaiah Pacheco had only 60 or 59. My bad, 59. Mahomes had half the carries though, so it's one of those things where I'd have to look back at the rest of the season, but I don't think there's been many games in the past maybe 2 seasons even where Patrick Mahomes had 9 carries. I mean, that's a testament to the coach.
He be putting that team on his back. He be like, "It's my time. Give me that ball."
Yeah, and that's also definitely I remember I was watching that game because it was Kansa City Chiefs versus Minnesota Vikings a few years back, where they did a tush-push style play where they kind of had Patrick Mahomes like go in a pile, and he came out of it limping, and it turns out it was an injury, and he missed like multiple games that season.
I remember that.
Since then, there's really you're not really designing run plays for Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. Like, fuck that. Like, if you're going to do it, it's going to be in the Super Bowl where it matters, you know? Yeah, do you think we're going to see that more? You know, I'm thinking about other quarterbacks that are mobile that have had injuries. I'm thinking about Tua. I'm thinking about Lamar, who missed a decent amount of time last season, I believe it was.
The shoulder injury, I think.
I'm thinking about Kyler Murray. I'm thinking about guys who can run. You know, the advantage that the Chiefs have is that they kind of know they're going to be in the playoffs. So it's like, it's easy to not. How do I put this? It's very easy to not run with Patrick Mahomes until you get into the Super Bowl when you know you're getting to the Super Bowl.
You don't need him to run until you get to the Super Bowl.
And when you don't need him to run, because that's one thing that Kyler Murray brings to the Cardinals is that sometimes if he doesn't have those runs, they don't win. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a tough thing to balance.
I guess it depends on who you got around you. And I think, like you brought up Lamar, I think Lamar got a pretty good offense around him, so he don't really.
And we saw this year that he's a good. I mean, he's a
He can
good
throw.
stereotypical quarterback, prototypical quarterback. He can win an MVP.
Yeah.
The right way in some people's eyes, which is still kind of crazy that anyone can win MVP and you can question the way they're playing a position.
I'm looking at this. Did you see that earlier when they admitted to saying they didn't know the rules of overtime?
Oh, on the TV, I'm dead. Yeah.
Bro, I forgot about bro. When I saw that, I was like, no way they said that, bro. There's no way you are in the NFL and you went to the Super Bowl.
I remember when it made the news for like a week straight. All anybody could talk about was the big game between Kansas City and Buffalo, where Kansas City came back in 13 seconds, right? To what was it? To kick a field goal to send it to overtime. After that game happened, the Bills legit, like, they felt like they got cheated out of a game because they were like, oh, we didn't have a chance to score against them. That's where the rule came from, right? That shit made the news, like, for a whole week. That's all we were talking about how, like, man, is this going to create a rule change? Is it going to create a rule change? And then when the next season started, we talked about it. I think the only excuse they have for not knowing is the fact that this was the first ever playoff game where it needed to happen, right? The rule existed previously, but it's just the first playoff game that went to overtime since the rule got installed. So that's the only excuse that they, could have. But I don't give a shit, bro. It's the Chiefs. Like, it's a team that you are likely to get into overtime with just because the opposing coaches are so smart. They know how to look at a score, look at the personnel, look at the position, and be like, all right, let's go tie this game.
That don't make no sense, bro. You don't know the rules. You getting paid millions of dollars and you don't know the rules.
I mean,
and the refs explain it before the coin toss, bro. Like, what you mean you don't know the rules?
And like, I don't care if they don't know the rules, as long as someone on the coaching staff knows the rule enough to explain to the rest of them, hey guys, it's cool that y'all don't know the rules. Just listen to the game plan, right? Like, because they're still, at the end of the day, they're still the ones calling the plays on offense and on defense. There's a guy that talks into a microphone. So as long as the guys talking into a microphone know what they're doing, it's going to be okay. It don't matter that they didn't have plan. But when they say they didn't know the playoff overtime rules, that makes it sound like the people who was talking in the mics didn't know the playoff overtime rules, which would be what? The offensive defensive coordinator or play caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit, bro. Like, how you about to... Oh my God. Nah, it's fairly infuriating. As a person who has multiple times used the rule in my advantage, I mean, my favorite one is when I'm chasing the ball to go out of bounds in basketball, someone else is chasing the ball, and I get to the ball, but with my momentum, I'm about to fall out of bounds, and with his momentum, he's already out of bounds. Just throw the ball onto the guy who's already out of bounds, and there you go. That's your ball. Like, there's little things that I've always enjoyed, knowing little things in rules that can give you an advantage. So the fact that they're in the playoffs, I don't know. If it's a rule that only applies in the playoffs, I feel like as soon as the playoffs start, you at least talk about it. Like, there's always a chance of ending up in overtime. And they just didn't even see it as an option. Like, that's just so stupid.
It's just funny, bro.
Did Brock Purdy say anything about that? About not knowing the rules? Who were the people who were guilty?
I don't know, but I think it was like a coach who said it. Like, the players. I don't know, but that is funny, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna have to look this stuff up. But yeah, has that ever happened in? Has that ever happened in like the any other sport world where like something happened and one of the teams is like, oh man, I didn't even know that could happen.
The only thing that I could think of that's close to that, and it wasn't like a person forgot a rule, is with JR when he forgot the score. That's the only thing I could think of.
Right. Yeah, but that's very different because if he had seen what the score was, because that's with your eyes, right? If he had seen the score, he would have acted differently. Those guys had all the time in the world. They possessed the ball for 7 minutes in overtime. I mean, come on now. Like, they had their time with the ball. They had their shit. They could have Googled it.
Yeah.
Like, what's 2 minutes before overtime happens? Like, have one of the guys one of the people that's giving out water be like, hey, you know what? Instead of giving water to one person, we're going to give you 2 water bottles, and you Google this shit. What happens if we get to overtime? Because it's looking like Patrick Mahomes is about to come down the field and score a field goal on us, which is what happened. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I gotta look this shit up. Yeah, J.R. Smith, but I can't think of anything else like similar to that's ever happened. Apart from that, Taylor Swift has been an NFL fan for 1 year. And her team has a Super Bowl. I've been an NFL fan for not super long, but a good 10 years of the Minnesota Vikings. No Super Bowls, and even before I was a fan, no Super Bowls. I mean, you're a Jets fan, so
I don't want to talk about it.
yeah. So how do you feel about this whole suite that we saw? Because it looked like everyone and their mama that was famous was walking through that suite. Taylor Swift was there. Ice Spice was there. Mrs. Deadpool, Blake Lively was there. I mean, shit was popping in that suite, bro.
Yeah, they showed them a lot on the camera, and I don't know why. I don't give a damn about them.
Yeah, like it's normal. Like even in a game at Madison Square Garden, like you before the game or maybe at halftime or at some point during the third quarter during a timeout, you like show like all the local actors and celebrities that pulled up, you know. But like the fact that
Did they do that last night?
huh?
Did they even do that last night?
Yeah, absolutely. They were showing everyone. They showed Post Malone.
Okay, I didn't remember.
Post Malone was in the crowd. Who else did they show? They showed someone else. I just remember Post Malone because he was there with his Cowboys and Dallas hat. Like he was really hoping that the Cowboys was gonna make it to the Super Bowl.
Dang. Well, you're gonna have to do something for All-Star Weekend since they ain't do nothing for Super Bowl.
What do you mean? Do like have a watch party of some sorts?
Yeah. A little something.
Oh, okay. So I just looked up everything that has to do with this whole not knowing of the rules. It was the D lineman Eric Armstead that said I didn't even know about the new playoff overtime rule, so it was a surprise to me. I didn't even really know what was going on in terms of that. Which is an absolutely wild thing to say in a press conference when you just lost the Super Bowl.
Bro,
Like,
what?
I'm not trying to roast anyone because you're all professional athletes who have gotten way farther than I could ever imagine of getting myself as a pro athlete. But yeah, it's the rules of the game that you play for 6 months of the year, you know? Like you have 6 months to learn the new rules that get added to each season, which I mean, I can't think there was ever a season where they added enough rules that you needed the full 6 months to study the new rules. You know, because you've been playing this game for a couple decades now. You're really good at it. What does it take you to learn a couple new rules each season? Whether it be, you know, and they're really good at forgetting and remembering new rules when it was the or pass interference, how you could challenge that call, but that only lasted one season. You know, like, people were very good with those rules, but these rules, like, oh man, I didn't know that one. I don't know. It just baffles me, man. It just baffles me. Then Juszczyk, these are, Pro Bowlers and all pros that I'm mentioning right here. Kyle Juszczyk said, you know what? I didn't even realize the playoff rules were different in overtime. I assume you just want the ball to score a touchdown and win. I guess that's not the case. I don't totally know the strategy there. We hadn't talked about it. No. Armstead then iterated. They put it on the scoreboard, and everyone was like, "Oh, even if you score, they get a chance still." Like, you guys are almost acting surprised by this rule, and I don't know. I feel like it's it maybe they were trying to make it seem like something went wrong, like it's very easy to point the finger at something that went wrong and saying that that's the reason why you didn't do as well as you hoped you had. But it ended up backfiring because now it's like, damn, are the 49ers like what's going on in their head? Like, why are they having mental lapses in one of the most important games, for a lot of those players? I can't think of too many players that were in the Super Bowl 4 years ago, right? Like, George Kittle was in it. Bosa was in it. I can't think of too many other guys that were already there, So, yeah, this was a lot of guys' first chance at getting a Super Bowl, and kind of demoralizing when you lose your first Super Bowl. I don't know.
Yeah. But like I said earlier, it's an easier pill to swallow when you, know who's on the other side. That's a really good team.
Right. So do you think this is... Man, so what was it, 2 years ago that Patrick Mahomes signed a $500 million contract spanning over 10 years with the Kansas City Chiefs? He's got 8 years left on his contract. Let's just say that he calls it quits after those 8 years, right? So he has won 3 Super Bowls over the past 4 years. That means he would retire with 9 Super Bowls. That's the pace that he's on. Just by the end of this contract, that would be playing, 14 years total, 15, maybe 16 years total. Now imagine if he's able to implement that Tom Brady, that LeBron James regime where you're able to really just kick it up a notch, take care of your body a whole different way. If he does that, what do you think is realistically a ceiling for Patrick Mahomes? I want a couple things from you. I want Super Bowl, total number of Super Bowls. What's the max number you think he could get? Total number of MVPs and Super Bowl MVPs. Because I have numbers for all of those in my head.
MVPs, I think maybe he could get maybe 1 or 2 more.
Okay, so that put him at what, 4 total? Right,
Yeah.
he has 2 MVPs?
I think he could get maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
I don't think...
So that would put him at, so he has 2, so that would put him at 3 or 4 MVPs, which wouldn't be a record. Peyton Manning has 5, I believe. Aaron Rodgers has 4, so he would be, in the top tier when it comes to that. What about championships and Super Bowl MVPs?
Well, those would be even for me because any Super Bowl he's in, he's most likely gonna get Super Bowl MVP. So, I mean, if you keep the right pieces around him as he gets older.
What about? Because if you think about it, even the greats like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. They don't win it every single year because, something crazy happens.
Yeah.
Like there was the year where Julian Edelman had like the insane catch against the Eagles or against the Falcons. Sorry, not the Eagles. I get my birds confused sometimes. He had the most insane catch against the Falcon. Like that gave him that Super Bowl MVP. Peyton Manning played a good game, but at the end of the day, Von Miller just was cornering Cam Newton every single time that he had the ball, so he gets that MVP. I just think it's unrealistic to say that he's going to get as many Super Bowl MVPs as Super Bowls, just because I think like, what if like Chris Jones has like a monster like 3-sack game in the Super Bowl with a forced fumble? So I'd say his absolute ceiling. Man, it's really hard to put him in Brady territory, but I think he can get 6 Super Bowls.
6.
Yes,
Well,
which
so
would
one more MVP. Would you say like one more Super Bowl MVP?
I think 6 Super Bowls total. He's at 3 right now, so that would be 3 more Super Bowls, and maybe one of those he gets the MVP, maybe 2, but not all 3. Yeah, I mean he's still. Pardon me. He's totally capable of getting all 3. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's just sometimes things happen that are out of your control. Tom Brady obviously has the talent to have as many Super Bowl MVPs as he has Super Bowls, but sometimes you also have just a really good kicker who kicks a game-winning field goal. That happens. And yeah. And speaking of really good kickers who kick game-winning field goals, I know that Patrick Mahomes, he had that that game-clinching touchdown at the end, but I just wanted to, where is it? Where's my kicking information on the box score? Dang it. Because I believe that most of the points in this game were scored by the kickers.
That's a fact.
So punt returns. There you go. Butker 4 for 4. The longest one was 57 yards. Super Bowl record, as you mentioned. The Super Bowl record for the longest field goal got broken twice in this game, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. 4 for 4. 4 times 3. 12.
Yes, sir.
So he almost had as many points. He had exactly as many points as Patrick Mahomes did, actually, because Patrick Mahomes also had 12 points, throwing for 2 touchdowns. So that was absolutely crazy. Can we talk about who was it? Shoot, I'm blanking. McCole Hardman, who caught the game-winning touchdown. There we go. Man, has he had a season. He played, I think it was his first, maybe 10 games with your team, the New York Jets.
Yeah.
And he had, I believe it was 1 catch for 6 yards over those games. And now we take McCole Hardman's stats.
He had 18. I was like 18 or something like that.
What was that?
He had 3 catches for 18 or something like that. But he was averaging 6 or something.
McCole Hardman had 3 catches for 60 yards.
It was low. No. I'm talking about at the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was real low. The one reception for 6.
Yeah, just for the Jets.
Yeah.
Well, he was on the Jets this season. But yeah, it wasn't much. That's for sure. At least when you're talking about a 12-game sample size.
Yep.
And then he finds a new home in Kansas City, finds a new system, and
finished 118.
Yeah, he had one hell of a game. I don't know. It's just one of those beautiful stories that you're like, damn, you can really start your season anywhere. You can start your career anywhere and still end up in a Super Bowl. Because when you think of Brock Purdy and being, we jokingly call the last pick in the draft Mr. Irrelevant. I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Yep.
Just simply because it has been scientifically proven that the last pick in the draft can be something other than Mr. Irrelevant. So therefore, that name is voided. You can't be using that anymore because it's been proven that it's not always true. So, yeah, when you see that kind of story, that kind of personality and person making it to the Super Bowl, and you see McCole Hardman, who started out his season with his own Super Bowl hopes, just with a totally different team.
He didn't even have any touchdowns in the regular season.
Right. Yeah, no touchdowns in regular season.
He scored a game-winning one in the Super Bowl.
And that's another dude who didn't know the rules. So we can't only point the fingers to the 49ers. Apparently, when he's celebrating and Patrick Mahomes jumps into his arms and hugs him, Patrick Mahomes is actively telling him, "You just won the Super Bowl. You just won us the Super Bowl." And he looks confused, apparently. He had to tell him he thought that, it was going to keep going, and it was until someone didn't score or something like that. But if you score a touchdown and the other team doesn't, that's a dub.
We got to watch that last play over again because I think they all kind of look confused.
The only one who's not confused, I think, is Patrick Mahomes who's literally sprinting into Hardman's arms to jump into his arms.
Because Travis Kelce low-key looked confused a little bit,
Travis Kelce has his arms in the air, but he doesn't have his arms in the air like someone who just won the Super Bowl. He has his arms in the air touchdown. All right, let's keep going with the game, which is absolutely hilarious. I mean, you guys are in the Super Bowl, and you're not prepped for it. So
do better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even want to stop talking about this game because I know that if I stop talking about this game, we're done talking about football until the summer. So that's the pickle I'm in. Man, shout out Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, he had a good game, bro.
Shout out Juwan Jennings with a throwing touchdown and a receiving touchdown.
You said he
for
was
the 49ers.
What? That was only the second time in history?
Yep, him and Nick Foles are the only two players to ever do that in a Super Bowl. Which if you think about it, if there's going to be players that are going to do that kind of feat, it would be a quarterback. So to have a wide receiver join that list is very impressive. Yeah. But yeah, trick plays that came out at just the right moment for both teams are kind of what shifted the tide. Because when Christian McCaffrey ran for that 25-yard touchdown right there on that trick play, I was like, man, is this finally the team that's going to bury the Chiefs? And then I don't even know how. I mean, I guess I'm going to put it the same way everyone else puts it. Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. You can run, you can hide, but at the end of the day, that man's going to pop up out of nowhere and score a game-winning touchdown on your ass.
He's a closer, man.
Yeah.
Assassin.
Yeah, so I do get where they're coming from when it comes to that Michael Jordan killer instinct. If people were to compare him to an athlete,
I would compare him more to Curry, bro.
Really?
I'll give him more of a Curry type of. Yeah, I'll give him Curry.
But I've never seen Curry carry in the playoffs. Really just carry. Go absolutely crazy.
Curry doesn't carry in the finals. He's only carry. Honestly, Curry never really played terrible in the finals. He just always had somebody who was playing better than him. And then there was always a one or. And then it's hard. It's also hard to compare because you're comparing a 1 game to a 7-game series.
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? You bound to have a bad game.
I'm sure that
especially when you got a team adjusting to you the whole series, you got a coach and you got 15 players that's making the game plan surrounded by you,
right?
Stephen Curry. So it's hard to compare that.
Right, but yeah, that's absolutely right. But also the fact that I'm sure that if Stephen Curry only had 1 game in the finals, that he would be that man.
I think he'll cook.
Yeah, he would be the main cook in the kitchen.
I know he's been in playing games, but those are crucial games that you have to win. sort of like how playoff games are in the NFL because you only get one chance at that.
Right.
So, and he always comes through. He's clutch. I don't know why people say he's not clutch. He's clutch. That's like the dumbest thing I ever heard from anybody's mouth.
Dude, I was
not
watching
clutch.
the game live. It was I can't remember if it was December, January, or February, but it was really fucking cold out here in Minnesota. And my little sister had a basketball tournament out in Rochester. So I'm out in Rochester, Minnesota, which is pretty far from here, especially if it's really, really snowing hard, which blizzards the whole time. But yeah, so I'm pissed that I'm even in this place. So I just chill in the hotel and I'm watching this NBA game. And I see Steph Curry walking down the court. And this is one of the times where I'm like, I feel like I know what's about to happen. I'm like, oh yeah, they about to call a timeout and run a play for Steph Curry so he can make a game-winning three. And that's when Mike Breen says, Warriors have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, from way downtown. Bang, bang. That's when he made a three-pointer with 0.7 seconds left on the clock to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. When they full force Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm talking Russell Westbrook, I'm talking Kevin Durant, I'm talking Serge Ibaka, I'm talking just one of the most hype games I've probably ever seen in my life that was not a playoff game. It was absolute madness. And when Steph Curry made that shot, I was like, yo, this dude is clutch. He had already gotten the nickname of Splash Brother. But when I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, this is a clutch brother. Like, this.
I might have to rewatch that later. That was a good game.
Yeah. Were you watching that game live or did you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Say like, yeah, I guess it's at that age where we really, when we in high school, we can watch all the games. We don't got much stuff to do.
Yeah. Yo, that's a fact.
Not as mobile.
Bro, I was watching basketball every single day, every single game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what's your favorite basketball memory that you watched?
Live, I think Melo 62 in the against the Bobcats.
You saw that live?
Yeah.
Not bad. For me, I'd have to say if I'm going just this season, I was watching the Dallas Mavericks play the Hawks when Luka dropped 73.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I saw the end of the Joel Embiid 70 piece, but I only saw it because ESPN notified me that it was the fourth quarter and that Embiid was cooking.
Yeah.
But the Hawks versus Mavericks, I was already watching. Then when it comes to less recent, I remember seeing Derrick Rose absolutely cooking. And me looking down at my phone and starting looking stuff up. I'm like, damn, Derrick Rose cooking. Has he ever scored 50?
When he was here?
Well, yeah, when he was playing for Minnesota, I was like, damn, has Derrick Rose ever scored 50?
Yeah.
And he had never scored 50 in his life, and he scores 50 points. And the moment where he starts tearing up because the whole entire crowd is chanting MVP to a man whose MVP dreams had gotten absolutely shattered just a few years prior. A man who, no offense to him, has absolutely no business being in any MVP conversation, and has not since then, just because of the way his career has been and played out since then. To have a whole entire crowd echo that sentiment for him, sheesh, man. That it was absolutely beautiful to see someone who got everything given to him and everything taken away from him. Have some people say, hey, we remember what you used to be and we love who you still are. And to me, that's what the city of Minnesota was kind of chanting that night. The state of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's one thing about Minnesota, though. They love their teams.
Dude, if you were a player for a Minnesota team, like, we just fuck with you.
If you,
like,
especially if
different.
you fly, yeah, like KG, the love for KG when he gets his jersey retired, I got to go to that game.
Dude, let's do it.
We gotta
Absolutely.
go, bro.
Nah, I'm totally down for it.
We out.
Yeah, I remember my father looking down at the program when we went to a game and being like, Garnett? Damn, that name sounds familiar. There was a Garnett playing back in the day when I first met your mother. And I was like, yeah, Dad, is the same guy. Yeah. It's the same. He was like, no, this was back in 99. That's impossible. And I'm like, yeah, nah, this is the same guy.
Same dude.
He was mad confused. He was like, no. And I opened up the little program and his goatee was a little bit grayer, but he always had that goatee right there. Bald as fuck with a goatee ever since not bald maybe in 98, but yeah, he doesn't look much different now. And it was kind of hilarious seeing my father's reaction to that one. So yeah. Any other beautiful basketball memories that you have? I like this segment. Reminiscing.
Dang, let me think. D Wade's dunk on who was it when he did that spin move on the baseline? I think it was Perkins, bro.
Yes.
Like it might have been the finals, or it might have just been like a really intense regular season game, because the Heat and the Thunder had like low-key a rivalry around that time.
Right, especially since different conferences, you're only playing each other like once in the regular season, maybe twice.
Yeah.
I think.
Another memory, KD, them threes he hit in the same spot in the back-to-back years on LeBron. Mm-hmm. Those is core memories. Those is locked in forever.
If we're talking about the playoffs, then yeah, most definitely game 7 of the NBA Finals, where Curry passes it to Iguodala and LeBron James smacks it against the backboard.
Right.
Seeing that shit live, because like
J.R. Smith don't get enough credit for that play.
For that play,
because LeBron still, you feel me?
LeBron's obliterating that ball no matter what.
But Iguodala had to adjust his shot because he double clutched it because JR contested it, and he gave LeBron a chance to catch up, and that's what I be telling people when I hoop as a big man,
right?
And I be like, hey, if he's guarding you, if you guarding him and I'm helping, just you don't even have to foul him or nothing. Just contest it enough to where you have to change his shot, and I'm just gonna come and clean it up.
Right, because it's gonna give you that time to rotate and jump in the air,
and I'm gonna come clean it up. So that's why like he made him adjust his shot a little bit. LeBron caught up.
I see what you're saying.
Smack that thing.
Hey, definitely helps. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's still LeBron. Okay, JR did his part, but.
Kyrie also did his part.
Of course.
Yeah, because I'm not sure which one made me go wow the most, the shot or the block.
Why are we talking about Kyrie? You know what? Kyrie has never won like any major award in the NBA, bro, and he's never like really led in any like major stat category.
Yeah, I know he's never been like the best scorer in the league.
So do you think
he's just the guy that if you want a bucket, you give it to him?
But in my opinion, there's a few years where he's arguably been the best point guard in the league.
Yeah, but it's just tough because you're not just competing. It's not like the NFL where you're just competing against other quarterbacks when it comes to MVP. You're really competing against the whole league when it comes to MVP. But yeah, he's never gotten even like a second team all pro,
probably
all NBA.
I don't think he's made first team all. I think I'm know for a fact he's made second team before, but I feel like his best years, his best chances and opportunities to make where he could have got MVP was probably in Boston.
Yeah, and his best chances to get first team All NBA, I feel like was at a time where Curry and Westbrook and Harden were like, MVP winning guards in the league. When it comes to averaging damn near, if not a triple-double, when it comes to Westbrook and Harden. Harden was just different because he was getting that triple-double and 37 points a game or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah,
that shit was crazy. Nah, Harden was different. But yeah, I'm curious. Let me, boom. There we go. So Kyrie Irving, I mean, he won a major award, Rookie of the Year. But yeah, he All NBA second team, and All NBA third team twice.
He's got a ring. He's got a gold medal.
Oh yeah, he has a World Cup and a Olympic gold medal. Yeah. So he has 2 gold medals, one for the Olympics, one for the World Cup. A Rookie of the Year, and those are the 2 or the 3 most major things in this trophy case, I would say.
Oh.
Doesn't help that he really doesn't have anything college related, just because of the year that he had.
Yeah. He
But
only
yeah.
played like what, 1 game?
Huh? I think he had like 2, maybe 2 or 3 college games.
He still went.
Unless if he
number
Aaron Rodgers did and got hurt in his first game, which is possible.
1. Hey, bro, we don't gotta talk about that. We don't gotta talk about that.
Nah, I want to bring something else up, but I forgot.
Oh, trades. Trades.
Oh yeah, the trade deadline did happen. Nah, but what I wanted to talk about was Kyrie related. Oh well.
You know, was it about top 75? Because you know he's not on that list.
Yeah, but that's different, bro. Some people who actually have accolades didn't make that. You know what I'm saying? Like people who have won scoring titles, defensive player of the year, block champion ×4 type shit. Like, I'm just talking about Dwight Howard and how he was a block champion and didn't, couldn't get multiple time block champion, couldn't get on that list. So, yeah. One thing that I found weird about Kyrie is that he's a 2-time gold medalist for USA, but I'm pretty sure he's Australian.
Yeah, he was born in Australia, but he was raised in Jersey.
Heard.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say about Kyrie. There we go. I'm sure you've seen this clip. It's a Team USA clip, and Kyrie and Kobe are arguing. And Kyrie's talking about how he would cook and you won there. And Kobe's like, bro, you basically fresh out of high school because you did, 2 games in college? And Kyrie's like, yeah, I get it, but like y'all can't guard me. And for me, that's one of my favorite Kobe videos that I've seen where he's interacting with another player at least. Because the way Kobe is looking at Kyrie is one of those things where you're like, half of him sounds like, damn, I kind of like the way this guy's talking, the way he's like very confident that he can beat me. And the other part of him is the same way he was treated when he first came in the league.
Yeah.
As an 18-year-old, or before he was in the league, there's a story about how he came up to Kevin Garnett and was like, hey, what's up? I'm Kobe. I'm about to be in the league. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to gain knowledge, and this and that. And Big
story.
Ticket is like, yo, who the fuck are you? Get off my seat. and then, fast forward, what would that be? 14 years, 15 years? And now you're having similar discussion where there's, in your eyes, this kid coming up to you like, yeah, I'm coming to the league and I'm about to cook all you guys. And you're like, come on, bro. Like, come on. But it's good to see that those people who made those comments are also the ones who backed it up. The ones who come in quiet, stay quiet. The ones who come in barking, you either remember them because they barked too loud and didn't make it nowhere, or they was barking for a reason. And that's Kyrie and Kobe right there for you.
Yeah. That was I remember that video. Those was good times. That's the same. I think in that same practice, that's when he did that full court drill, Kyrie.
Yeah, that's when he proved. Yeah, that's when he backed it up.
Yeah.
He actually cooked them. He would, because like there was all younger players who some of them weren't even in the NBA and versus the actual Team USA, right? So like we're talking like young Blake Griffin, Kobe, Wade, like we're talking those guys. And so obviously like when you're doing those full court drills, it's going to be very hard to get past them.
Yep.
And so young. Kyrie kind of hit one of those, those moments, just like when you're a child and you're in recess and you know you're the best guy in your grade, and it's like, come on, motherfucker, give me the ball. Let's go. Let me go. Let's do this. And kind of like a Leo Messi, go get the ball between defenders. That's what he did. He between the legs, behind the back, spin around this dude. I'm a dance, flip it under the rim. That's Kyrie. Always been Kyrie.
Hat tricks.
Hat tricks. For days. Nah, that's just crazy.
That man said he learned how to make crazy layups because his backboard was missing pieces.
Are you for real?
Yeah, so he used to have to like try and make layups different ways because the backboard was missing. So that's crazy, bro.
No, I'm just picturing like every single person that has a backboard just grabbing a hammer and just absolutely slamming the shit out of it, being like, come on, I don't need this part.
That's crazy.
So do you think that means that there are certain parts of a backboard where he genuinely like can't hit that part of the backboard and make the hoop just because he's never learned how?
Nah, he knows how because he does a warm up before the game where he literally just stands under the rim and he just.
That's what I do that. I do that almost like every time that I hoop. I just sit under the rim and just kind of right hand, left hand, go back and forth and try and work with the backboard.
Mm-hmm. From every single different angle you can, bro. That's what he do. So
he's so good with his offhand too. That's the crazy part that I can never, because like I feel like a lot of people in the NBA, most people in the NBA have mastered the reverse layup, right? Where you end up going to the other side. But there's not everybody who can do it with their offhand as smoothly as he can, because he genuinely looks like he's about to go straight up with that right hand. And then next thing you know, it goes down to the right, below, up the left, flip. And you're looking at this shit in slow-mo and you still don't understand how he's doing it. I mean, it's some voodoo magic if you're asking me. But yeah, we got a little bit distracted. This NBA trade deadline.
yeah,
I want to talk about a trade. Is there any specific trade that you want to talk about, or any signings or anything?
I like Pat Bev going to the Bucks.
I like that too. I saw this meme that said Pat Bev really took 21 on the Bucks, making him and Jrue Holiday look like Mario and Wario. Literally, one's just the evil version of the other one. That's all it is.
Didn't you say their problem earlier this year? I think you said their problem was defense, right?
Yeah, you didn't believe me too.
They got it now.
Oh, absolutely. They got the perimeter defense they needed. Yes, sir.
And if you've been watching like the Sixers play this season, while they have Pat Bev, he's been playing good, and he's their point guard.
Yeah,
like
he's their backup point guard. He's their sixth man off the bench. He's good. He's good. One of the ones that I really like is also a point guard. And it's on your team actually, Dennis Schroeder to the Nets.
Bro, we needed that so bad. It don't mean a lot, but
I was watching his first game for the Nets. Not a single practice with the Nets, right at this point. Not a single practice, and he's out there.
Bro, he's
balling,
a system,
bro.
He's a system point guard. Like, you can put him on any team, and he's gonna give you like 11 and 5 a game. Like, he's good.
Why do I feel like that's just people who played in Europe? It's like that.
Bro, he's great. Didn't they just win the World Cup this year? Germany?
Yeah.
And led by him.
Yeah, they beat him USA. Damn, they did beat USA.
It was by Dennis Schroeder led Germany team. Yes, bro.
So he was the best player on their team too. That's the crazy part.
He can hoop. He's a pest too.
Yeah. But so why is it that Pat Bev can hoop and is a pest, and Schroeder can hoop and he's a pest? But look at the stigma behind Patrick Beverley. You know how he's one of those guys where if he's not on your team, you hate him, and he's on your team, you hate him. Dennis Schroeder, it seems like he's not on your team, you love him. He's on your team, you love him.
He's just a likable dude. Patrick Beverley's not. But that's the thing, though. He embraces that role, that villain role. He don't care. He not here to be liked. He here to do his job. What he said is,
You know, that's fair enough.
Leo keeps saying this when Pat Bev guarding you, it's like Giannis guarding you. Remember he said that? Yeah.
I remember he pulled up all the percentages. He was like, look at that. I'm 0.5% under Giannis. You know what that means when I guard you?
It's like Giannis is guarding.
Speaking of which, you think that is there anyone that saw you walking with your jersey around today and said, "Oh, that's a dope Giannis jersey"?
This is Ray Allen. No, I hope they didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm aware it's Ray Allen because I can see when it's from and I can, educated guess.
I didn't wear it out today yet, like outside, like walking, but I'm sure somebody would say that if they didn't see the back, just because I don't think they really know.
Yeah, just because Buck's 34, recent memory, you're thinking, the Hall of Famer that played for the Bucks most recently.
Yes, I don't think people like of this generation would see this jersey. First of all, I don't even think they would know that Ray Allen was ever even on the Bucks.
That's what I'm thinking. Do you think the new generation knows Ray Allen like that?
No, they'll probably think about like,
bro, what if you told them that he was on the Supersonics?
Bro, with Rashard Lewis, like, bro, they would be like, bro, who are you talking? What is a Supersonic? They will probably be so confused.
I think people still know what the Supersonics are because so many young people love Kevin Durant, and that if you look up Kevin Durant highlights, the first 2 minutes of it is Supersonics. But yeah, it's crazy. I remember when Russell Westbrook got drafted by the Supersonics, and then they switched to the Thunder. So he got drafted by the Sonics, but never wore a Sonics jersey, if that makes sense.
That's tough.
Right? And then the first player that the Thunder ever drafted after they had switched to the name Thunder, James Harden.
That's like Melo. That's like Melo when he got traded to the Hawks, and then he got traded again in the same day. Carmelo Anthony, you remember that?
No.
He got traded. I don't remember where it was from and then where he went to after.
Probably from the Rockets.
But I think it was the Rockets. I think he got traded to the Hawks and they literally traded him the same day or the next day. So like they had his jersey made.
And it
was funny.
Shit, I guess because he's a bigger name, so they actually started that process.
Yeah.
Huh? But I was just thinking during the trade deadline, a similar thing happened with I believe, I can't remember if it's Marcus or Markeith. I'm sorry, you guys, but y'all's names be too similar, and y'all look the exact same. So I can't remember if it was Marcus or Markeith, but one of those two got traded, and then that other team on the same day during the trade deadline was like, "Yo, we got this dude. Let's add him to this package," and he literally switched teams twice within a day. So yeah, that always baffles me, the way that you can be like, yo, these guys don't want to trade this guy because we don't have enough to give them, and then all of a sudden, wait, hold on, we have this trusted veteran. Let's just toss him in there.
Speaking of veterans, you seen the Sixers sign Lowry?
Kyle Lowry?
Yeah.
Didn't he get waived by the
Hornets? Or they either bought him out or waived him. But he got traded to the Hornets, and then
he was involved in the Rozier trade to the Hornets. But then I thought, damn, he got waived by them, huh? That is wild.
Either waived or bought out. I don't know, bro. But either way, he bought a sign with the Sixers. But the only thing that really does good for them is that
either way, they didn't want him playing for. It's the Charlotte Hornets, bro.
Yeah, but people forget. I think people kind of like. What do you think about Kyle Lowry?
What do I think about Kyle Lowry?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think he's a borderline Hall of Famer.
But I think people got way too high expectations of him. Like now, people don't realize he's 37 years old, about to be 38 in probably a few weeks, I think.
Right.
And he has a ring.
He's a small guard.
He's got a ring.
A 38-year-old small guard. It's not like he's a 38-year-old bigger-bodied person that can help on defense, be an extra body. Because he's you said it, he a cone.
He's still a decent defender. Kyle Lowry, he's still a decent defender for his age. He's not terrible.
But he was never a good defender for his position. So
Yes, he was.
No, not Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry was getting steals and low key blocks. And also what he was underrated for, he was underrated for being like
clutch.
Low key getting triple doubles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't get many, but he flirted. Like he flirted with triple doubles a lot, and he's underrated guard, like rebounding guard.
So you said Kyle Lowry is getting signed by who?
The Sixers.
Yeah, because right here, when I looked up Kyle Lowry, it says Kyle Lowry player for the Hornets.
Yeah, he's supposed to be signed to the Sixers.
So that's damn, did you know he was drafted by Memphis?
Yeah, and then I think he got traded.
Oh yeah, right away because he's played his whole career in whole career up until the trade to Miami in Toronto. But man, this is crazy. Hold on, let me just.
Yeah, he got bought out by the Hornets.
Oh no, he started. Wait, what? How do I not remember Memphis Kyle Lowry?
Kyle Lowry agrees to buy.
Do you remember Houston Kyle Lowry?
Hell no. He had a super low cut. I think I remember.
Damn, I don't remember none of this. But yeah, I'm just looking through his Toronto years.
$2.8 million deal with 76ers. The Warriors didn't do nothing. You heard Dinwiddie's gonna sign with the Lakers? Still doesn't make no sense. It don't matter.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
It don't matter.
Man, I swear this man, he be getting moved around a lot for no reason.
Bro, we traded that man twice.
I know.
He's a
no. Y'all traded him and traded for him.
We traded him, got him back, and traded him again. Get the hell out of here.
The crazier part to me isn't trading away someone twice is the fact that you had to trade for him in order to trade him away the second time. But yeah.
Freak him.
We have, man, I have to double check this. Bogdana.
Yeah, Bogdanovich went to the Knicks. The Knicks are a contender now, man. Even though Bogdan is 34.
There we go. I wanted to make sure I get because there's a few Bogdanoviches, so I wanted to make sure I was getting the right first name. But yeah, it is Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean,
averaging 20 right now on the season on 46% field goals.
Dude's a shooter.
He is
a really good shooter,
and he's very good in the clutch. He's a very underrated clutch scorer.
Yeah, he's Joe Ingles type player. You know,
that's immediately
Joe Harris.
Go out.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that like don't be surprised if he wins a 3-point contest, but also don't be surprised if the casual fan doesn't know who the fuck this guy is. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he'll sauce you up too.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't think he just gonna spray you. He gonna.
He's kind of shifty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Any other trades you can think of?
I think that's about it. The PJ Washington and Gafford.
Oh yeah, we talked about that one.
What does that mean for them though? Like, let's look at the West.
What does that mean for them?
Let's look at the West.
I saw them play against the Oklahoma City Thunder the other night. It was Gafford's first game playing, and Washington's first game playing. And in the fourth quarter, they helped Luka basically like just blow by the.
Yeah, he had them involved the whole game.
Oh, dude, Gafford was going crazy. He was screaming, bro. Like legit, like screaming at the crowd.
The Thunder need another big. Chet is not a big. It's sort of like
he's not a big. He's a long.
Yeah, they need it. They need to put him in like a like how the Timberwolves have Cat and Gobert. They need to put him in like a Twin Towers situation. Where he
get a like legit center that does nothing but be a center, set screen, and play defense.
Literally. Maybe.
Okay, so who is that then? Who do they get?
I'm trying to shoot.
Because there ain't too many Rudy Goberts walking around.
You think they should get a veteran?
Try and get a Jaren Jackson Jr.
I don't think he's leaving Memphis, bro. I think he liked Ja too much. I don't know though. That's kind of hard though. I feel like they low key might blow that team up soon. They might blow that team up.
There's so much.
It's a lot going
uncertainty
on
with it. That's my point of view on it. At
Injury. Then you got Ja with his
his injury,
his that and his behavior.
Yeah, but that hasn't been. Well, I guess has been an issue since. He played what 10 games after the suspension.
Yeah, hopefully he good with all that now, and then mostly for real injuries.
Yeah, no, that's 100% it.
Injuries, bro. But like when everybody's healthy, that team is a nice team, and we saw it.
And Jaren Jackson Jr. is a defensive player of the year.
Yeah, but I feel like he has to take his scoring to the next level. I feel like he has to get a Bam. He has to be more like of a Bam type player, because you see Bam has progressed on offense every year, but he's known for defense.
Right.
But every year he's gotten better. His averages have gone up every single year. His percentages have gone up every year. His usage rate goes up every year.
So that's why if he went to Oklahoma City, it would be so beneficial, because you wouldn't even have to pick up the offense. You'd have a Chet doing the big man offense stuff. Jaren Jackson focusing all of his energy on just defense and screens.
I don't think he has to be more disciplined. If he can be more disciplined, then I could see him there. But that team is very, very well rounded and disciplined. If you bring somebody in there, I think the only way it will work is if it's a vet. And he's not no vet. That's why their team can't win like nothing big, because they all too cocky and
it's gonna be their downfall.
Yeah. So,
well, shit, this was a pretty good episode. I'm not gonna lie, but this is gonna be the last episode where Balls Out Sports Podcast talks about football for this first season. So,
dang.
Yeah.
Baseball back in 2 weeks though.
Baseball back in 2 weeks though. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all can catch the previous episode on Spotify. I'm trying to direct some traffic over to my Spotify. I haven't gotten too many listens, so I'm trying to get y'all to blow the Spotify up as well as the YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.